Hello students, welcome to new video. In previous video we have already studied structure of semantic markups, structure of HTML documents where different document tags, here title tag, paragraph tags and structure, these tags are called structure tags. Okay, different structure tags we have already studied and importance of those structural tags. Then we have studied HTML elements in brief, where we have studied about links. In that, different types of links, that external links, internal links, and different page location of a page, and email links, then JavaScript links, then phone links, and all we have already studied. In today's class, we are going to study URL relative referencing. Okay, if you want to refer an image, a content, or any link, at that time we are using, simply we are using, as a beginner we are using a anchor tag here. Links with an anchored element, referencing images with an image element, or including external JavaScript or CSS file, whatever the resource that you are referring to, whether it is a JavaScript file, whether it is a CSS file or an image file or a link, whatever it is, we need to able to first successfully refer to that file, okay, within our site. If the reference fails, then your website fails, obviously, right? See here, so this requires a learning the syntax for so-called relative referencing. If you are learning how to relate, how to find, how to locate these files using the proper syntax, once you learn that, you can properly refer those files, images, or any script, CSS files, whatever it is that you are referring. Okay, now from above slide you have learned that when referencing a page or resource on an external site, a full absolute reference is required, that is a complete URL. Okay, if you are referring a resource that is on a different website, okay, if it is on a different site or in an external site, at that time you need to refer, or you need to include absolute reference that includes http colon front slashes. Okay, so if you are referring to internal resources, example any image file that is present in your server, in your project, okay, at that time you need relative referencing. Okay, so however, when referencing a resource that is on the same server as your HTML document, you can use briefly a relative referencing. So if you are referencing a image or any resource file which is on the different site, at that time you are using absolute reference, a complete path name where that resource is located on that site. However, when referencing a resource in your local machine or the same server, at that time we are using what? We are using relative referencing. Okay, relative referencing. Now if the URL does not include the http colon front slashes, okay, then the browser will request the current server for the file. If your URL doesn't have this http format, at that time it will request for local resources, okay, in your current server. Now if all the resources for the site reside within the same directory, then you can create a reference for those resources simply via their file name. Okay, how? See, if that file is present in the same directory, okay, here I have here, see, one practice folder that is present on my desktop that you have already seen. See, I have a practice folder on my desktop. So in this practice folder I have this prac.html. okay, suppose I have this index.html here itself, okay, index.html. so if you are referring to from practice to index, if you are referring, then need not to mention any path name at all, just the name, just index.html. so it will just call that resource. Okay, so now here, after that, see, now URL referencing. Okay, then however, most real world sites contain too many files to put them all within a single directory. Yes, if you are working on a real time project, at that time you are going to understand that it is going to create it is going to create many files, and if you are storing these files under one folder, at that time finding files will be very difficult while you are coding or debugging. Okay, so for this situation a relative path name is required along with a file name. So what you are doing to manage these files, you are creating different folders. You will create a folder called images, you will create a folder called documents, or you will create a folder called resources, something like that. Okay, in that particular folders you will arrange a particular resources, right? So if your project contains this kind of subdirectories, at that time how to refer, we will see information on the page number 77. Okay, let me complete these points first. For this situation, relative path name is required along with the file name. Okay, a relative path name along with the file name. Along with the file name means what? Relative path name means what? The entire path where this file resides. Okay, or you can use a dot pattern that we will study. Okay, now path name on the web follow Unix convention. So how to give a path name? Now question arises, sir, you told path name, now how to give a path name? So the folder names are separated by using slashes. So it follows a Unix pattern. In Windows we are using backslashes, in Unix we are using front slashes. Okay, are used to separate the directory names from each other. Okay, from the file names. Okay, now here double periods. Double periods are used to reference a directory above the current one in a directory tree. See, if you have a resource which is at the one level above of that current directory, at that time you are using just a dot. If it is two level above, at that time you are using dot front slash dot. Okay, now see here, we will see these practically. Okay, so additional explanation and examples of the different types of URL referencing on the page number 77. Okay, page number 77 here, page number 77. So if you are referring first one, relative link type, same directory, if your file is on the same directory, to link the example.html, to link example.html, see here he has given example.html from above.html. Okay, so what I am taking to link a practice.html, to link index.html from practice.html. How to link? So here we need this reference. Okay, so let me include, so I have one page here, practice.html. so let me open it with Visual Code. Okay, so here I have a project open, so open a folder, my project is on prac, right? Select this folder. So I have this practice.html. in this I have some code. Okay, then let me add this link. Okay, example.html. actually I have index.html, right? So I will write just index.html. both are in the same file, so just let me give name as hello. Okay, just message as hello and run it. We'll run it. We start debugging. See now the practice.html. so here I have a link called hello, right? So when I click it, it will go to that index.html that you can see here. Okay, index.html that you can see. Hello, I am index page that I have created. Okay, so see again the main page which is prac.html. from that, if you want to link to or give a relative reference to index.html which are present in the same directory where your prac.html present, so if you just click on it, it will just display that page. Okay, what if the question is, now next is a child directory. To link a file within a subdirectory, use the name of the subdirectory and slash above the file name. See, if it is in a image file name, see I have here in my practice folder, I have a images folder. If I just delete this index.html, because I have already stored index.html in this images folder. Okay, so now if I want to link this file or call this file over here through this file, so what I need to write, see, first I need to change the link. So let me write the link like this. So actually here anchor tab I am using, so folder is images. See, folder name is images. So what file I'm calling? Index.html. html. Okay, sorry. Now after that, again the text hello, then we will close this anchor tag. Done. Now run it. So practice.html hello. So again if I click, it will go to index.html. See, if you are on the main page path is on desktop practice folder, you are using practice.html. From there you have clicked to hello, then you have moved to see images folder, and you are calling index.html file. Okay, it's very easy. If it is in a child directory, how to call it? See, suppose if I make another directory inside images, if I make another directory, say like p1, I will make it as a p1, and I stores this index.html in p1. Then what we need to write actually here? Images /p1, right? Then call it, just run it, practice.html hello. So it will go to images p1 and index.html. It is so simple, right? Then we'll go to third one, grandchild descendant directory, that we have already seen now, right? Then parent or ancestor directory. Okay, from index to prac.html. Index to prac.html. Let me open that file first. Here in the images I have p1, in this p1 I have index.html. Okay, I have this index.html, right? In this I have just a hello I am index page. Okay, so if I want to call this practice.html here in images p1 folder to this file index.html, then what I need to write here? See, a parent or ancestor directory, right? So if I need to write this link, see here, just I need to add, see, from index.html to prac.html. Okay, see, index.html to prac.html. So we are editing index.html file. Okay, see, we are editing index.html file, and we need to refer prac.html. So here we will write go to prac. Okay, prac file. Okay, let me run this. Run. Here I have this first. See, in this images p1 I have this index.html. So go to prac. So if I click, see, directly go to prac. See, previously I was on prac images p1 index.html. So I need to go to prac.html. So just I clicked on it, so it will go, move on to prac.html. So here relative using dot syntax. Okay, relative referencing using dot syntax. So parent. Then sibling directory. Sibling directory means what? Use dot to move up to the appropriate level, and then use the same technique for a child or a grandchild directory. See here, not only the prac.html. Suppose on this prac folder, if I had another HTML file, let me take it as a, another file. Okay, let me edit with one tag h1 again. Okay, I'm just using for this for practice. See, I am another page in prac folder. Okay, so save it. Yes, then rename to, I will rename it to here some HTML. Okay, now see, if I just want to use, here I have referred prac.html, so sibling file. So here another .html. Okay, now just let me run it. See, it was in p1, right? So go to this prac. I am another page in prac folder. Okay, this is how you can refer the sibling files. Okay, if you want to refer a root file, then at that time you need a web server here. See, an alternative approach for an ancestor and a sibling reference to use so-called root reference approach. In this approach, begin the reference with a root reference, that is front slash, and then use the same technique for a child or a grandchild directory. See, I cannot show you because I have not installed the server here. So note, this will work only on server, that is, they will not work when you test in your local machine. Okay, I have not installed any server here, that's why it is, I cannot show you here. Okay, so if I install the server, I will show you, okay, in future. Okay, now the default document here, same, see the pattern was same, dot dot, instead of dot dot you are just using a root directory name, you are just using a root name, then about.html. So from about.html to about.html to bio.html, actually he is referring these file, okay, from about.html to bio.html, and see about.html in the root folder and bio.html is in this rand.yc. Okay, so now here you will see, you will have here in this, see about.html, you need to refer from bio.html to about.html, and bio.html is present in, see, rand.yc folder, and it is present in the root folder. Okay, so if you are using like this, just about.html, see, you are just using root folder, you are not using any dot dot operator, at that time this will directly link. This will only work if you have installed a server. Okay, so the same thing here, default documentation, web server allows reference to directory names without file names. In such a case, the web server will serve the default document, which is usually file index.html or default.html. So here, to link index.html in members from about.html, use this link, see, from about.html to index.html in members. See, we have a index.html in members file. Okay, so now if you want to refer this file index.html from about.html file, so what he is telling us, see, to link a index.html in members from about.html file, you need to use just href members, no need to mention any file name. By default, the index.html file will call. Again, this will work on server. Okay, so we have studied all these 7 points, right? Now we'll go to the next point. You can force a link to open a new open in a new browser window by adding target is equal to underscore blank attribute to any link. So I have this index.html, and just what you need to add, you need to add target is equal to underscore blank in this. Okay, so what actually happens, so you are editing index.html file. See, I have a project folder named as prac, in that I have a images folder, in that I have a p1 folder, in that I have a index.html, right? So you have already seen here images, p1 and index.html. In that I am just adding one line that I need to refer another .html which is present in the root folder, that is called, my root folder is prac. Okay, so here, and I am writing just one, I am adding one attribute, that is target is equal to underscore blank. So what you are doing is you are forcing your page to be opened in a new tab. Okay, let me run this, see, start debugging here, where I have that file in images p1, see, index.html. So this is my file, go to prac. So whenever I click, see, it will open in new tab. See, again it will open in new tab. See, previous tab was here, see, it will open in new tab. Okay, very quick tip. So let's move on to next slide. In this we have inline text elements. So they are called inline text elements because they do not disturb the flow of the text. So if you are using a block elements, at that time what it will do is those block elements will start displaying from the next line, but inline elements will not disturb the flow of the text or any data, whatever it is. Okay, so here see, anchor element we can use within any paragraph, within any h1, header 1 2 up to any 6, right? So then abbreviations, see, let me show you the example of abbreviation here. Abbreviation tag, for we have a very good example in W3 schools. See, abbreviation. So let me try this code. See, we have one code here, see, paragraph, in that we have the WHO was founded is 1948. The WHO was founded in 1948. So before that, in the coding you can see that we have abbreviation tag. In that we have a title World Health Organization, the full form of WHO. So when I just hover on this WHO, see, it will show you World Health Organization. So that's why we are using abbreviation tag, and see, it is inline tag. Okay, so after that we have line break. This we are using for breaking a line. See, if I just use the same editor provided by this W3 Schools. So if I just use BR over here, so this was the output that you are seeing. If I just run it again, so it will go to next line. See where I have added BR here, WHO, after WHO. So it is within a line, it is inline element. Okay, if I have removed the same line, right? So next is cite a reference to another work. Suppose you are giving a reference to a journal, or if you are giving a reference to a textbook or any novel and all, at that time we are using a citation tag. Okay, if you want all those information, it is available in w3school.org. okay, so see here, code for displaying any programming code that you want to display, use for displaying code such as markup programming code. Okay, em for emphasis. Okay, let me show you here in em tag, okay, in W3 Schools, see emphasis tag. So here emphasis tag, write yourself, see the code. You are just writing the paragraph. You have to hurry up. You have to hurry up. You are actually writing here. Have, it is in italic. So give emphasis, a force on that a particular word. So at that time you are using a emphasis. See, used to display. So and it is to display a word with a more stress. At that time you are using emphasis, em. Okay, now mark, for displaying highlighted text, a background color will be set for that. Okay, so if you just use here mark highlighted text, okay, let me use the same editor here, mark, okay, then and with mark, run it, see you will have this yellow color. Okay, you are using marker, right? You are using marker, right? So here, after that you are having small. You might have seen on many websites. Suppose let me show you this HTML site. You might have seen this kind of text, right? Very small text, right? If you want on the bottom of the page you are adding copyright information and all, right? So this is where you are using a small tag. Okay, this is where you are using a small tag. So here, if I want to write example, see, if I just write P, hello, this is a copyright page. Okay, copyright page. So just I want to show this copyright in a small, so it's just small. Okay, let me close this tag after copyright. Okay, and run this file. So see, it is little bit small compared to this text. Copyright is little bit small compared to this text, right? So this is why we are using this mark, small. Then we have span, an inline equivalent of the div element. It is generally used to mark the text that will receive special formatting using CSS. Okay, it is like a div here, a division where you are giving IDs or class name to this, and it will receive a particular styling for that particular text. Okay, now strong, a bold one. See, instead of this small, if I just I have written strong here. Strong here, and if I just run this code again, sorry, here, see, this strong, little bit strong, bold. Okay, see, don't worry about these span and all. We are going to study all these again and again in your upcoming topics. Then time to display, time tag is to display time and date. Okay, the same thing, using today's time and date, you can type here, and you can use a time and closing time tag here. Okay, so I will stop here. Until next, in the next video we are going to study images, character entities and different types of list in HTML. Okay, thanks for watching.